Hey guys, so we're going to talk about some examples of transduction pathways. So just as a note for all of these examples, these are just examples. You don't need to memorize all the steps, but you should be able to interpret a diagram about what's happening or have other similar examples that you would have to be able to figure out from a diagram. Okay, so our first example of a pathway is epinephrine signaling pathway. So for this, we have a signaling molecule or a ligand or ligand, and that's going to be epinephrine, which is a hormone. It's also called adrenaline. We're going to have something called a G protein receptor. It's just the receptor for epinephrine, and I'll talk a little bit later about what a G protein is. And then we have the second messenger that is sent, and that's going to be CAMP, or sometimes referred to as cyclic AMP. Okay, so here is showing how cyclic AMP is actually just a modified version of like ATP. It's M because it's monophosphate. It only has one phosphate. And then what happens is that one phosphate, after it loses these other two, loops back around and makes this little ring, that's why it's called cyclic AMP. Okay, so here is a diagram. Remember, we have to be able to interpret these diagrams. So here we have epinephrine. That's our ligand that's going to bind to an epinephrine receptor. That receptor, then we can see here, turns ATP into cyclic AMP. And then from there, it can go to two different places. It can, if we have active glycogen phosphorylase, cyclic AMP can come here. Or if we have an inactive glycogen synthase, then no new glycogen is made. So cyclic AMP can go to increase these two things in order to use glycogen, because what this glycogen phosphorylase will do is it will go find glycogen, which is a carbohydrate, and it will break it down into those glucose monomers. So we're going to start breaking down that glucose. It also inactivates this other protein, that glycogen synthase, so we can't make new glycogen. So in this case, the cyclic AMP, that secondary molecule, has two functions that it does. Okay, I have some videos that you will watch that will show you how this happens in a video format.